Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Big Lee's Worlds podcast. It is I, your host, Big Lee, coming to you once again back at the Boom Boom Room right here in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And before I get started with my guest today, I want to thank everybody that went to BigLee'sWorld.com and picked up that new Big Lee's World t-shirt. I really appreciate the love and support on that. Definitely make sure that any of y'all that haven't yet, go do that. Hit up BigLee'sWorld.com and let's see those streets covered in those shirts. And by saying that, I have with me today a good, close, personal friend of mine. Probably the person I've been trying the hardest to get on this podcast, but he's such a busy man. He's a Cape Girardeau legend, Mr. Johnny Thurman. How are you today, sir?
Oh man, I'm good, Lee. I'm actually very honored to be here. Thank you, seriously. I'm glad I could make it.
Well, I'm glad you could make it too, even though you've been to the Boom Boom Room many of times.
Don't tell them.
Yeah, don't give away the address on here. So let's go ahead and let's start this out with the recent life change that you've had. Mr. Thurman has moved. Finally, he has joined the elite of us and has made that switch from the Android to the iPhone. How's the iPhone life treating you, sir?
It's new. It's. I mean, I still think Android is superior because I'm still getting used to having this Apple. But no, it wasn't much of a change. It's pretty similar. Like the layout, slide through everything.
Was you the only one in your immediate circle that still had an Android?
Not actually. No. I have a few friends that are still pretty hardcore Android.
Yeah. Sometimes in life, you just got to start disowning your friends that make poor life choices.
Yeah.
Or run the group chats.
I guess that's probably going to be the end of this podcast. I got to just...
It's like, podcast over. I can go break up with all my friends now because they still have Androids.
Yeah. No, that would take a while.
You know, I'm proud of you for finally switching. You know, you kind of drug your feet a little bit on it, but I'm glad you kind of joined the rankings of it here. There's still a few things I want to show you after we record this here with it, but...
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to learn a few things. Would be helpful. You actually helped me a lot. I will say that. Big Lee is definitely the main man to call if you have a problem with any Apple device. He can figure it out pretty quick.
I was actually afraid he was just about to drop my phone number on here. That's why I was like, oh man.
$20.
He's like $20 in his DMs, and he's going to drop the phone number.
Hit that DM.
But yeah, man, let's start kind of at the beginning here.
Okay.
Do you remember how we first met? No.
I should know that. You've told me the story plenty of times, but I don't remember exact date or time.
Man, I see where I rank in your life. You know, not that both of us have a god-awful terrible memory, as we were talking about before we started recording this.
Seriously.
But I think the first time I met you, there used to be this utopia here in Cape Girardeau known as Breakaways. And I believe you were slinging merch for a local band.
Yeah, you're right. It was a Thorlock show. Yep.
We'll tell people that's listen that may not know what Thorlock is.
Thorlock, yeah, they were a local, I guess, Cape Girardeau local, but some people will just say St. Louis local. They played there a lot.
Because there's literally nothing between St. Louis and Memphis.
Pretty much, we're it. But that's that they were like a doom sludge kind of heavy rock band, and the goal was to play as loud as possible. And when they played some of the local bars, they would crank it up as loud as possible to see if they get kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that happened, but I'm sure they were probably asked to turn it down a few times.
I mean, I think it's pretty hard to get kicked out of Breakaways, so...
It was. I missed that place, actually.
I do, too. Hot Shots just isn't the same.
No. Hot Shots is not.
I don't remember the last time Actually, no, I remember. The last time we went there, me and a couple buddies of mine, we went, and it took them forever to bring the check. We had to find a different waitress to bring us our check. And as we were leaving and going back from there, I think we were early there on lunch break, or just got off work and we're headed home. But we seen our original waitress was already walking home in her, as you called it, hot thoughts outfit.
Mm. I shouldn't say too much though. I have a buddy that manages there now. I think he's trying to turn it around best he can.
Mm-hmm.
He's been there a few months, or probably a year by now. This year went by so fast. But Brandon, he's doing things. So, but I've only been in there like once or twice. I don't know.
I was gonna say it's been over a year since I've been in there. I do know that.
I also don't get downtown as much as I used to because I work out of town and like I'm busy.
That's right. Even though you're the Cape Girardeau legend.
I don't know the legend.
But no, I mean, let's talk. You know, you're a Cape Girardeau legend. Let's talk about the great city of Cape Girardeau. And probably one of the first things you talk about is downtown, and it's crazy. Um, being a larger dude with very I don't want to say angry tendencies, but if something goes down, we're not going to run from it. And when he, and that's the problem. Like when you go to Cape downtown, it seems like if you go downtown, everybody wants to fight no matter what.
Mm.
Like you don't really have that problem. Like if I go downtown Nashville, downtown Chicago, downtown St. Louis, you don't have those problems. But downtown Cape Girardeau, why do you think that is?
I would say, well, probably because Cape Girardeau is definitely the kind of cauldron or melting pot for all these surrounding small towns. You take people who are from a small town where their reputation means something more than anything, and they may have a certain last name, and they may even be held to a higher standard in their small town. Well, then they come here and rub elbows with someone who thinks they're, the hot stuff in their small town, and you had a little bit of that loudmouth soup, and game over. Start fighting.
Yeah, because the only real hot stuff in Cape is Thurman and I.
They'd have to put us together like a hot stuff, like pizza pockets.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be, me and you would be like pizza pockets.
Yeah, that's exactly what it would be. You'd be the cheese and I'd be the pepperoni.
Oh, that kind of reminds me of Beastie Boys. A lyric, "She's my cheese, and I'm her macaroni."
See, I don't know, like, I feel bad. Like, I know a couple of the Beastie Boys songs, but it was never really anything I got overly into.
You should change that.
He's like, I've got nothing else besides, you should probably change that.
Yeah, no, for real. Beastie Boys did a lot for themselves, and that's a whole nother, gosh, the Rick Rubin talk. I mean, there's a lot of history with Beastie Boys alone. Mm-hmm. They did a lot, but it is hard for some people to get into them, or they only know Intergalactic, or whatever. There's a lot more songs than that, but I'm thinking of like this age, you know what I mean? Nowadays, like
right.
You say Beastie Boys, they're not even going to know, MCA Pass and whatever, and they may know, but they're not going to know Brass Monkey. They're not going to know some of the other deep cuts from back then that we used to hear on the radio all the time.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's the thing is it's like no sleep.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, like I remember the old stuff, like, and it's nothing like a hatred or anything like that, or not a fan. It just honestly, what I heard, I just never got into it.
It's old. It's old. I mean, it's hip hop. It wasn't rap. They were following the rules of hip hop of educating, or not just trying to entertain you, but in that cadence or that delivery that those guys had, it is a certain era, and some people, they aren't attracted to it, or it's a kind of like beer or whatever. It's acquired taste. You gotta, or you'll mature later and then go, wow, I was messing up. I really probably should have paid more attention back then, which I probably do a lot of that. Looking back at it.
I'm that way with Sugar Hill Gang.
Sugar Hill Gang?
Yeah.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that cadence, that delivery, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean catch myself listening to a lot of that older stuff. But it's just something with the Beastie Boys. Like I just never, But that's the same thing now. Like if you look at modern rap, like I don't get it. I think I blame a lot of it on I said this a couple of years ago on Facebook status that we need to make rap angry again. And I feel like instead, like I was listening, I have a Spotify playlist and had a lot of the older rap songs I used to listen to on it, and it was just like when you listen to it, it's angry rap that gets you fired up, or it's motivational rap that gets you like, make you want to better yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's hip hop. That was the goal.
right? Well, I mean, like much further past like the '80s. I'm talking about like the mid 2000s.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Okay.
yeah. Like you look at even people like Big Timers and those first Jeezy albums. Like you listen to that and you're just like, quote a phrase like, "I'm ready to get my paper now."
Yeah.
It's about that. But now you listen to this rap that's out today, and it's so depressing.
And I think that's the point. Like the sad rap, the emo, like as they're rehashing the emo term again. That's been around for so long, way before goth kids or whatever. But like it's become more about your emotions and your which I think is this kid's the era of maybe grunge or because I don't know, Kurt and Eddie Vedder and all that, and Lane Staley, they're all whining about something too.
Right.
It's about creativity. It's about getting out your problems. But nowadays, yeah, it doesn't seem as like you're saying, like as about capitalizing from being from the hood or doing something or go buy some land, go buy a business, go flip this, go flip that, whatever it takes. It doesn't have that motivation. They just say, I already have it, but I'm still sad. I guess I don't know.
Man, see, that's the thing. Also, maybe you're onto something there because I'm also not a big fan of grunge. Like I do love Alice in Chains. Don't get me wrong, and a couple of those Nirvana hits. But once I started deep diving into Nirvana, I realized I wasn't that big of a fan besides the radio hits. I didn't like the depression part of it.
But Kurt's whole point was to be anti-popular too, though.
Right.
I mean, he was looking up to the Melvins and Mudhoney and some of these other sub-pop bands from Seattle that they weren't famous. They were just famous for if you knew them, and then some of the desert bands and stuff. And so it was different for them to get that status. And ultimately, I think that's what he talked about a lot was not liking it. But again, that's kind of the rock star thing to do, almost, is act like you don't like it, But he obviously had some issues. I mean,
yeah, he married Courtney Love.
That was a big issue. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I just think like if my music's not motivational, then I need it angry. And I think that's how I move. Like.
And sometimes that angry is not always angry.
Right.
If you listen to what they're saying, like hardcore, some of it's actually motivational.
Right. And that was the thing, like, I'm 34, so, I was prime age for the new metal movement. And so a lot of those, like your Korn, your Limp Bizkit, your Static X, like, it had, the perfect mix of, like, anger.
Yeah.
And, like, the music behind it still just got you amped. But at the same time, it's like, if I listen to, like, newer music from those bands, nah, it just doesn't have the same effect.
I think they stepped away from the hook that was there, like in the rap rock. You had to have that beat, that rhythm, that hook. I mean, same with any single. But if you didn't have that, it didn't have that funk that was keeping like you're saying, keeping your attention. If it started sounding just depressing or the same chords over and over,
Right.
I dealt with that too. I mean, when I was in high school.
Did y'all have electricity?
I'm only 39, thank you very much. 40 in February, my new term. But yeah, that we had. I don't even know what I was saying. There we go again with the memory thing.
Right.
But yeah, like music. What I was saying, the sound of things. even then, Green Day was out, and there
Mhm.
was that in Offspring had Smash out, and some of those bands were quote unquote punk, mainstream punk,
Right.
but
The evolution of pop punk.
yeah, and some of it I was okay with, but I remember when I first heard some Blink 182 song, like I liked Damn It, but I didn't like some of the other later stuff, and but it wasn't really. It was the nasal singing and then the beat.
Mhm.
But later, I got into more metal and then metalcore and hardcore, and then that beat comes back around. That fast rhythmic, 4/4 or whatever, or I don't know. Anyway, it's funny how you grow up and you learn to appreciate stuff that you may have been too immature to enjoy or look past,
Right.
open your mind to.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, especially talking about hardcore. Like, that's the other thing I like in my music is gang vocals,
Ooh,
sing
yeah.
alongs.
Mm-hmm. That's the positive thing.
Yeah.
That's where you get the crowd involved. Yep. I'm always glad that you found hardcore.
Yeah, it took a minute to get me there, but I got there. All it took was some of my favorite bands at the time to start really selling out. Well, here's the thing: you laugh.
Throwdown and Throwdown definitely went more metal. They were hardcore.
Right.
Got more into the metal.
Yeah, well, I was going to say more along the lines of bands that I got to listen to when they were first starting out, and then as they got more mainstream, it lost it for me. And the biggest example was Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah.
I got to see Five Finger when their first album that came out, The Way of the Fist, and you're talking like 200 people at Pops to see them in this moment, Bury Your Dead, and Another Dark Day. And that was the thing also.
Bury Your Dead.
Yeah.
With hardcore band.
Yeah. And that's the thing though, like I look at those tours that I got to see them on, and before they started selling out, like they took out, I seen them one time with Shadows Fall. Actually, I think I seen them twice with Shadows Fall. They took out OTEP. They took out God Forbid.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So, like, they were taking out these 2 Cents. God, that was a band that was so good, but it just never clicked. I guess they never got popular or whatever, but God, they were so good live. If you've ever listened to 2 Cents, check them out. Like, they're amazing. But, I think the last tour I actually went to see them on, they had sold, I mean, they had really went mainstream and sold out. But it was the last tour. It seemed like they were taking out bands with like harder edge bands. So, like I remember it was called like Trespass America, and it played at the hockey arena in Nashville.
Oh, wow.
But you're talking like it was a weird mixture because it was like Five Finger Death Punch, of course, was a headliner. It was Kill Switch Engage when Jesse came back. Trivium, Pop Evil, and then you went to The Mirror, God Forbid, Battlecross. So it's like you had, yeah, like that's what
you know what I mean. Like, yeah, that's crazy cool.
Yeah, and it was just like you had all this going on, and you're just like, oh wow, this is really good. And then after that, it's kind of like they really started doing more and more of the radio rock, and it just kind of pushed it away, and then
and that's when you make it feel like it's a sellout versus a
right,
yeah.
And at that time, like I'd already started getting hate breed, like stuff like that, moving that way. And then I don't know how I came across it. I don't remember if it was just a random YouTube recommendation or what it was, but they had suggested a Terror, Keeper of the Faith. And then once I heard it, like it was game over. Like,
were you listening to the Acacia Strain at the time already?
No, I found the Acacia Strain after I found Terror.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say because they were a good crossover too for a lot of people to start finding. Because I mean, I saw them actually when Danielle and I started dating. I took Danielle, my wife, to Pops to see Terror and Acacia Strain. I think it was 10 years ago or 9 years ago recently, and Terror. Actually, they had to they got Pop shut them down for stage killing and then crowd killing, stage diving, whatever you want to call it. It was a good time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Terror's just about barred from every venue in St. Louis.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I get both sides of it, but that's the whole point of that band. And bands have done way worse at Pops, and it was on the second side stage anyway. Come on. Like, I mean,
So that already tells you there's only like 50 to 75 people there.
exactly, yeah. But I don't know. Earlier when you said sell out, I thought it's kind of funny. But I mean, I get what you mean by that. But I also understand like it. We were talking about this the other day. Is bands do it's hard for bands sometimes after their sophomore release or sometimes even their first offering to
Keep the same sound and be profitable.
yeah. I mean, because especially bands that have been, probably been bands for years. They've just took the best stuff they've ever written in all those years and put it into this, album, and then you expect them to dump that out again, or a label wants this or they get the hype and. But there's so many. You've been to enough shows and been to enough tours, and you should. I'm surprised you're even shocked by it even now sometimes, but that's why you're getting those mixtures of shows
Right.
because it's one. I mean, bands are and labels are open minded enough to not just send out a crew just from their label. There's mixed label tours now and packages, and that makes it fun for the fan too.
Right.
And I think that kind of thing is what leads bands to get that reputation, like you're saying, to where someone goes, "Oh man, they sold out or they changed their sound," and it's hard because it's kind of the goal is to get popular and make money, but there's like that gray area. What makes them. But that's a long time.
I will say one of
that's a big.
I will say it's one of my favorite shows I got to go to was in Chicago when Amir and the Acacia Strain ended their beef.
Oh yeah,
and they did the Eternal Enemies tour.
I remember you messaging me about going to that show.
Yeah, and you said no.
No, I had something going on. I would have went.
You were like, no, that's too rough. It's too dangerous of bands to see live.
Pretty sure we've gone to harder shows.
I got to go see Conway Twitty.
I would have went and seen Conway.
Honestly, I don't know much about Conway Twitty besides the fact like they do the Family Guy jokes with them.
I mean, I know a little bit about it, but yeah.
As Mr. Thurman walks away from the microphone to go throw his monster can in the trash.
At least they didn't leave it in the floor or throw it at the microphone.
It wouldn't be the first.
Should I just crunched it?
Just crush it and throw it in the microphone, yeah.
Stomped it down on your neighbor's left.
Yeah, the death metal stomp there. But yeah, we kind of ventured off on the off-beaten path there, which, kind of, yeah. I mean, which kind of, is what we do here at the Big Leagues World podcast because we all know I can't stay focused on anything.
Segue.
And,
that's where I should have had the soundboard.
Oh, yeah, the soundboard. Yes, Mr. Thurman was going to use a soundboard for this, but that seemed like a lot of work, so I don't know why we didn't do it, but...
See, that'd been awesome.
There you go.
We could have done that right there.
See, you could just go ahead and do that, just...
And when you announce me,
So, the point of this was going to be, we met at the Thorlock show. There wasn't many people there, so we was able to chit-chat.
Yes.
Although he wouldn't talk to me until after I bought T-shirts. And actually, I think I still have that T-shirt back home.
Awesome.
I think. I'm going to have to look and see next time I go down there and see if it's still there. But, we started talking, at the show. We realized that, we had a lot of interest. We was both from the sticks.
We both are from south of the Benton Hills.
Right.
As some people say.
And, we hung out afterwards and stuff like that. We met up downtown, things like that. But then, we finally made our first road trip together. Do you remember the first road trip we took?
Was it to Memphis?
It was to the big city of Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes, it was.
To the New Daisy Theater.
We went to Gus's Chicken.
We did. We went and seen.
They let me leave with my 40.
They let you leave with your 40.
That was the best chicken and 40. That was awesome. Yeah, that was a good time.
And then we went to the New Daisy Theater, and who did we see?
Amir, Born of Osiris, right?
Yep.
Uh,
I think Defiler.
yeah, I don't know the other bands, but I just remember. I remember that, and we talked to Frankie out back.
Yeah, we went and talked to Frankie out back.
Yeah.
I think you patted him on the stomach and told him he was looking good.
Maybe.
You don't remember that?
Probably not.
Yeah, because you patted him on the stomach. He's like, man, you looking good. He's like, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I've been working out. But then, do you remember what happened after that? And we thought we were going to get robbed in Memphis.
Man.
Old man Thurman's thinking here about
I'm thinking. I remember us walking to your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the New Days, it was by the little police station there at one point, but then we walked the other way, right?
No.
No, we parked back there.
Yeah, we parked by the venue. Remember, we went to Crystal's afterwards because somebody wanted Crystal's.
Oh, and we were sitting in the parking lot.
We were sitting in the drive-thru.
Yeah.
And the guy tried to walk up to the car.
That's right. Yep.
And then they made us go over to park to get our food in the parking lot, and then he tried to come up to the car again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that was.
We also, that was the day we saw the little S10 truck with the big wooden tailgate that said "Big Dirty."
I don't remember this.
The only reason I remember that is because that random picture has been on my SIM card for years, and I've transferred phones over since then. And it popped up one day, and it took me a minute to realize what, I was like, what is this from? And I saw the Tennessee tag, and I knew right then that's what it was.
Oh man,
That good night with Big Lee in Memphis.
In Memphis, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
And then after that, a couple months later, we met up down in Nashville, Tennessee.
We did go to Tennessee again
to go see Juicy J, Project Pat, and this up-and-coming rapper nobody had heard of.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
By the name of Travis Scott.
Travis Scott opened that show, that's right.
No, what's his face opened?
Well, Project Pat opens,
yeah.
Yes, that's true. And then the little DJ sets between everything.
Yeah, and then Travis Scott came out. The things I remember most from that show was Travis Scott tried to do a wall of death, and the crowd was not having that.
I completely forgot about that. I 100% forgot about that, and but I do remember it now. I sure do.
I remember that. I remember just like meeting Travis Scott and getting to talk to him in between the sets. He was a super cool dude.
That's cool you got to talk to him. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got a pic with him.
A lot more than what you paid for the other way around, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I mean, now look at today, it's like, oh wow, I got a pic with Travis Scott.
That's more important than Juicy J. I mean,
right?
Juicy J is held to a higher standard, but you might get a little bit more hype or whatever you want to call it. Clout. You need some of that clout.
Right.
Some of that internet.
Right. Be like, listen to the Big Lee's World podcast where he has met Travis Scott. But I remember that, and do you remember the girls fighting over his shoes, over Juicy J's shoes? Where, like, he would take his shoe off and he'd throw it on one side of the stage and then throw the other there. And then I remember after the show, like, there was a fight out in the middle of the front. Was it Marathon Music Works?
Yeah, Marathon, yep.
And,
yeah, it was. You're right. Right off to the left, right when we walked out. Your brain, you blow my mind with what you remember.
Yeah, I remember the facts of yesteryear, but 5 minutes ago.
Oh. What were we talking about?
Yeah, like, why are you here?
I don't know why I'm here. I'm here to get that charger because I switched to Apple, and Big Lee, what he did is he told me to come by to get this adapter that I could use in my car that charges and has an auxiliary port because Apple doesn't have an auxiliary port.
Because it's 2020.
They don't care about music.
Most people just use
Bluetooth in my 2008 Honda Civic.
You can if you buy the Bluetooth adapter for it.
Anyway, yeah, you're right. Technology. But he got me in here and he trapped me in, and now I'm talking about music.
Right.
And
or that good old biscuit house.
Ooh.
That was some good eating.
Oh, man. Now we're going back to food in Nashville. Yeah. That biscuit place was awesome.
Oh, it was. Nashville Biscuit House.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to think of what I got that day. I had something extra with the biscuits and gravy I ordered.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
I remember whatever I had was like eggs and sausage and biscuit, and it's all smothered in gravy.
Yeah.
Did you ever make it down to Loveless Cafe?
No, but I've seen you post about it.
I was wondering if you ever made it down. There's some good eating there.
It's in Union. No, where's that? Oh, in Nashville?
Yeah, it's outside of Nashville. I think it's by Franklin.
Oh, Franklin's a nice area.
I think it's by Franklin. I could be completely wrong about that. I know it's outside of the city.
If I didn't go with you, I don't think I'll do.
Okay. Then
I'll sightsee with Big Lee. He takes me to he introduced me to Gus's Chicken.
Right.
I mean, I knew it was there, but he
Mr. Thurman don't feel safe going to these new places, so he needs to make sure Big Lee's with him to make sure he can sneak his 40 out.
Yeah, exactly. And see how many discounts Lee will try to pull out of the waitress before we even get our drinks to the table.
That's right. Hey, I'm all about that hustle. So I don't listen to emo rap. I have to listen to old school hip hop because I gotta be reminded of that motivation to get that paper.
Prime time, grind time.
Hey man,
bang.
I'm telling you, like I follow this site. It's called Slick Deals, and you'd be surprised some of the stuff you can get on there.
Slick Deals.
Yeah, I think it's like slickdeals.net.
Is it like Wish?
No. You don't buy actually through there. They post like special, like it's like a user forum, but like people post their specials or like people find specials and they post it there.
Okay.
So you'd be surprised, like
it's not like that Bezo and that crap, right? Where you pay like a penny.
No. Like you still go buy it at the actual store or stuff like that. They just tell you where the deals are at.
Oh, cool. So yeah, all right. So instead of like searching for an online coupon and they all
right.
Yeah, okay. I feel you.
That reminds me. After we record this, I'll tell you about yesterday's ordeal at the Walgreens.
Oh yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
But I'm telling you, man, go to Slick Deals. They actually follow me on Twitter.
Oh man, shout out Slick Deals.
Yeah, shout out to Slick Deals. If y'all want to save some money, go look at their website, slickdeals.net, or on Twitter, and you'd be surprised some of the stuff you have. And that's not even a paid ad. That's just like being honest there. I check it multiple times throughout the day.
There used to be a website I used to go to back in the day that always had a cheap item every day.
eBay?
No. Oh man, that doesn't matter. But anyway, I'll try to remember it and tell you.
Spoiler: he's not going to. Or it'll be a text message at like 4 a.m. He's like, "Hey, I remember what it is now." So, but yeah, I think after that, like, we kind of stayed around the area for a bit, and I don't think we had another trip until we made that lovely train trip to Chicago.
We've done a St. Louis trip, I think.
Did we?
We went to St. Louis and actually, maybe we both were in St. Louis. One time we ate Gus's Chicken together.
Oh, that was after the Chicago trip. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, I think it was after that. Because I think anytime I tried to get you to go with me to a show, you were like, "No, I'm too elitist to go to that. I'm too elitist to go see For Today and Hatebreed."
No, I'm not. I am not. I'm too elitist to go see Smash Mouth. And
Smash Mouth was in Tunica. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to. I watched a singer of Smash Mouth run off stage and go make out with these old women in the crowd.
Say Smash Mouth.
Yeah. Way he was going, he probably smashed something else after that.
Or whatever. I need that sound.
Yeah. He tried. So anyways, we went to Chicago, man. We took a train.
We did. We did take a train for the first time. I've never been on a train. Well, I had been, but I'd never taken the train to Chicago, to Union Station. It was around Christmas. They had a big old tree.
It's got the parental advisory. You're okay.
All right. Big ass fucking tree. And I got a picture in front of it.
Yeah.
He's got that picture. That was a good time. We rode Uber.
Yeah. We rode an Uber.
Well, I meant like that was the first time.
Really?
I think I had used in the major city, like used Uber. I think like there. Yeah. So that was cool to me. Whatever.
And that sick hotel that was hidden off in the middle of nowhere.
That was a cool hotel.
I miss that place.
That place was nice. Like, actually really nice.
Inexpensive.
It was. And it was really secure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the entrance. And then I remember the only weird thing was everyone had to cut everybody that pulled in, all our taxis and stuff, always had to, like, turn around weird.
Yeah.
Because of that, where we were at. But, other than not that mattered, but that was it. Like, they couldn't
The
find
Hotel
us.
Chicago in the medical district.
Yeah, man, what do that again?
Didn't we have bunk beds?
Was it bunk? Yeah, no, it was bunk beds. It
Yeah.
was bunk beds. That's what made it awesome.
Yeah. We went to Chicago, slept on some bunk beds.
I just wanted to finally say I've been on top of Lee.
A lot of people do.
You're right. Maybe.
Just saying.
I don't know you. I don't know what people say. Let's open your DMs live on the podcast. Well, live for us, but not.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't think my DMs are that exciting because it's mostly, hey, I'm such and such. I wrestle out of here. I would love to come wrestle for Anna Fight Underground. And it's like, no.
Send us a press pack.
Dude, no, I mean, that's what you have to do in 2020. If you want to get booked, you got to message the page. They got to send a resume.
This ain't backyard wrestling.
That's right. This is real deal Holyfield.
This is CCW.
No, this is not.
I mean, no, I'm sorry. This is Anna Underground
Anna
Wrestling.
Fight Underground.
Thank you. AFU.
Right.
My apologies.
Hashtag FU Anna.
You are so ill.
I was like, okay, he lost us here.
In the 6-1 hate.
In the 6-1 hate. I may have to use that.
That's what we used to say back in the day. I used to go to shows and lots of shows. Anyway. More music talk. I don't talk about music anymore.
That's what we do here.
That's what we do here.
Yeah. Unless we're going to talk about that big Anna Fight Underground show coming up February 25th at Anna, Illinois at the Quick Skating Rink. The Vision, Big Lee's belated birthday bash. Ooh, You gonna come out to it? No.
Maybe. Oh, it's your birthday back? Yeah. It's 5 days after my birthday.
Yeah?
February 20th is my birthday. Same day as circle back around to Kurt Cobain. Or Cindy Crawford. That's a good one, too. She was a big thing in the 90s.
Yeah? Okay. I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you why Cindy Crawford was famous. I barely remember the name.
Oh my gosh, she was a supermodel.
Okay.
Like Pamela Anderson or.
Oh, I remember Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, I bet. Or Kathy Ireland.
I don't know who that is.
Another. There you go. That's okay.
Is she like Jenna Jameson?
No. No, I don't think so.
Oh, man.
That's different. It's a different kind of model.
Those are the best models.
Mattress model.
That's right. But, yeah, going back to Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah, we had Gus's again.
Ah, yes, we did.
Yeah, and you wouldn't leave the bar. I remember that.
You remember a lot.
I do. Because I remember standing outside waiting on you. To come out of the bar. Come out of Gus's. Because what was different from that Gus's versus the other is that Gus's stayed open, I think, at least midnight.
Uh-huh.
And you were still in the bar chit-chatting, to say the least.
That's what I do.
I know. And then
network.
I think we walked a good, mile and a half?
Probably.
To get back to our hotel. Because I don't know why we didn't Uber. I think we thought we knew where we were and we didn't. I remember us going to the 7-Eleven.
City blocks are a lot bigger than town blocks.
This is true.
I think that's what it was. We were like, oh, it's only 2 blocks. 4 blocks, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 blocks is like each one was a quarter of a mile.
You remember going to the 7-Eleven?
I don't know.
Yeah, we went to the 7-Eleven. They had a cool arcade there.
Yes, I do remember that. It was like a travel station looking 7-Eleven in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
Or at least the inside.
Yeah, but that's not where the arcade was. The arcade was back on, what was it, the West Loop? Kind of catty-cornered from Kuma's.
Yep. The barcade.
Yeah, you don't remember the barcade?
Yes. Yeah, I remember all that. 'Cause we saw the sign for it outside Kuma's when we went. Anyway,
Right.
yeah. I remember. Because I talked about the place in Kansas City that I had gone to when I would do the tattoo convention.
Mm-hmm.
There was a barcade there that we would go to.
But all in all, it was a good weekend. We saw Hate Breed,
We did.
Dying Fetus,
Code Orange Kids.
Code Orange Kids,
And Twitching Tongues.
Twitching Tongues, where I finally got to see Mr. Thurman have a mark out moment.
A mark out moment.
Yeah. And
I saw a guy in a Soulfly shirt while we were there. That's what I remember outside.
no, some dude that was playing with Twitching Tongues or something.
Oh! One of the guitar players used to play and did a side project with a member of Blaster. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep. I remember. Yeah.
And that great.
I don't think he's ever done anything else aside from that, but yeah.
Okay.
It was still fun.
And then afterwards, going to get that great food across the street, that hot dog stand.
Pizza puffs and some other stuff. Yeah. You got to have a pizza puff late night in Chicago. It's like you just have to.
All I remember was getting a hamburger.
Well, that works too.
But if I'm usually not getting fried chicken, I'm getting a hamburger. So
my favorite thing to get in Chicago is Portillo's.
Ah, yes, I remember the Portillos.
Italian beef, dipped with crinkle cut fries and extra large chicken.
The best thing about Portillos is the shake.
Yes. No. Yes.
Sir, it's either yes or no.
It's a whole thing. It's a combination. But they have a Portillo's now they have had one now in Bloomfield Normal, which is like 2
Bloomington.
hours, sorry.
Bloomfield is outside Dexter.
It is. Anyway. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we stayed a couple of blocks over from it. When we went to me and my buddy Justin Lane, we went 2019 up there to Schaumburg to go to Starcast.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know what? That reminds me. We also went somewhere else while we were in Chicago. We went to the Wrestling Tees place.
We did go to the Pro Wrestling
Tees place. And you got some Japanese wrestling stuff. And
I did.
Something for
got some rave.
CM Punk, I think, right? Maybe?
No,
we talked about CM Punk because I think
he's from there.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, we picked up some Bullet Club merch and picked up some Raven merch while we were there. Once again, it's kind of crazy I can remember that, but can't remember 5 minutes ago. But yeah, we've had some pretty big endeavors. But the biggest endeavor you're involved with is Mr. Johnny Thurman, the Camp Girardeau legend, is tattoo artist.
Ah, yeah, that is my.
Did you forget?
No. It's it's a lifestyle, man. I can't I can't forget. I can't get away from it.
How'd you get started in the business?
Man, I tell this story a lot. It's kind of well. There's a few different ways you can look about it, but
I hope if you told the story enough that there's only one way you got.
No, there's a few different avenues as to why I started working at the shop.
Was it Electric Avenue?
Yeah, electric tattoo machine. But no, I'd always been into drawing. I'd always been into art. I was drawing flyers and doing stuff for bands and little, just little things. Make some extra money, whatever. I was living next to the shop. I was getting tattooed a little bit, and I was friends with plenty of people in the shop, and most everyone else that was tattooing in town. And it was kind of one of those things that sort of fell in my lap. I wouldn't necessarily say I was searching for it, but it was an opportunity that was given to me, and I took it and ran, and I'm very thankful that happened. It's not very often that I guess that at 30 years old people find a life changing career or what they're really going to do for the remainder of their life, but. I'm glad I've been in it since 2011, and I mean, I'm not trying to quit anytime soon. That's for sure.
So you did your training here in Cape, but
hmm
your big claim to fame is what happened once you left Cape.
That my claim to fame.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's not what you did yesterday, it's what you did today.
I see. Okay, no, that's a good. You're right. That's a very good.
Don't make me bust out the deep quotes here like earlier.
Hey, that's deep. That's a good PMA though. You're right. I mean, it's what I get what you're getting at. Like, life changed a lot more because I moved closer to. I started working closer to home. I didn't move. I stay in Cape, but I started working closer to home, and I started working with Thomas and we rebranded the shop and it really just kind of grew from there. And I think that it helped. Yeah, it helped my career substantially. I mean, um, which I think that's to say for almost anyone that's creative. Being around others who inspire you or you can learn from is always a positive. And if you're not, if it's stagnant and you're not getting anywhere, you're not ever going to grow. And so.
So you said you rebranded the shop. What did you rebrand it as?
Well, it was Working Class Tattoos, and the shop name now is True Hand Tattoos, um, and it's been that name for 5 years now.
Yeah. So True Hand Tattoos is in Sikeston, Missouri, correct?
Sure is, Sikeston, Missouri.
What's the address there?
112 North Kings Highway Street.
112 North Kings Highway Street, Sikeston, Missouri.
Super easy to get to.
Yeah, the True Hands Tattoo, right there by the old downtown, correct?
It is right downtown.
That's right.
On the brick roads, the original downtown.
Close to Kirby's, right?
Directly across the street. We share a parking lot with Jeremiah's. You can't miss us.
Look at that. And you said you've been there 5 years now?
I've been there 6 years in October.
6 years in October.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2021 or 20?
This past October.
Okay, 6 years. That's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you've built a pretty solid clientele base?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I love my clients. Like, they have my back a lot.
Awesome.
A lot.
But not just have you built that reputation at Cape, you've built it in Sykes and the local area as well. So much enough that not just at True Hands that you tattoo, you also travel and tattoo, correct?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Definitely. Doing guest spots. The funnest part about that is getting out and meeting new people, getting out of your comfort zone, expanding your clientele into other states or other markets, and it's fun. Being able to just.
Where all have you traveled to?
I have been to Illinois, Tennessee, Kansas. I mean, just the surrounding states. But,
okay.
But yeah, mostly Illinois. I worked in Benton, Illinois, a couple times at Ren City Tattoo. But I've been offered to tattoo in a few different places. I want to try to do that next year. Hopefully, if COVID allows, I'll be able to expand my horizons some more and just travel a little more. Especially Chicago. I have a lot of friends up there, but I want to try to see Ohio and maybe some more.
Okay, awesome. And I lost my train of thought there, so it happens when you get old. So do you just tattoo out of the office and travel? Like, do you ever just try to do like tip stations? Like, do you ever tattoo out of the house or?
No. When you have a license, that's kind of considered malpractice.
Really?
At that point, yeah. It'd kind of be like a doctor, trying to perform surgery at his house. Granted, he has the skill to do it, but it's not lawful. It's extreme. It's not safe, sanitary, and so it's not good. So I have tattooed. Like when you tattoo at conventions in other states, you can purchase a temporary license for that state, or some states don't require that you do that. You just work in house as a guest artist, and so there's options. Either way.
So the best way they can get a tattoo from you, just go down to True Hands at 112 North Kings Highway in Sykeston, correct?
Yeah. That's exactly where you'll find me.
Is there anywhere online they can see your work?
I was just about to say that. You can also find me on most of your social media platforms.
Are you on Parler?
I don't know what Parler is, but I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat.
The Bird, the Book, the Gram,
The Bird, the Book, the Gram,
the Ghost.
the Ghost. It's all there. My handle is at JohnnyT573. But Instagram really is what has my portfolio that's more current, and it works right now. I'm also working on getting a fan page or something set up on Facebook, possibly that would be a landing spot for new clientele to easier contact me.
I can help you set that up.
That would be awesome.
I've set up a few in my day.
I bet you have. Pretty good at it. So, but yeah, but the best is just come by the shop, have a consult. When you want to get a new tattoo or any tattoo, it's always best to go in person, meet the artist, look at their work.
That's at 112 North Kings Highway in Sykeston, Missouri.
112 North Kings Highway, Sykeston, Missouri.
In the old downtown, True Hand Tattoo.
True Hand Tattoo, downtown, Sykeston, 63801. Our roads are made of brick.
That's right. It actually is. That's no joke. I don't know why they did the old downtown Sykeston that way. When I used to live there, I always thought it was intriguing.
I believe I could be wrong about this, but I think there's actually some proof about it. But I believe there was an old brick factory in Poplar Bluff or somewhere in that area that burned down or had whatever an issue, and they used a bunch of those bricks to pave a bunch of the roads in the towns.
So tell me a couple crazy tattoo stories. I know you tattooed a couple of bands, correct?
Bands, yes, I've tattooed a few bands. I used to tattoo. I was good friends with the band Let Live for a while. They've recently broke up in the past few years, but their singer and
not because of his friendship though.
No. But I was cool with their tour manager, and when they would tour and come around the Midwest, I would tattoo those guys. I've tattooed a few other band members on Warped Tour, and it's always fun. It's not even like business at that point. It's more about just
earning that free expensive ticket to the festival.
That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. I'd get to be put to work and hang out. No, it was fun to hang out with friends, and I did. I got to meet a handful of bands back then that were really fun, and we still stay in touch with some of them. So it's
okay,
rad.
Cool,
super rad.
Now I know it's pretty basic or generic to say what's the craziest tattoo you've done, but what would you say is the most extreme?
Extreme as in the subject matter of the tattoo.
Extreme, how's the best way to put it?
Placement.
Kind of. Well, let's say extreme placement and extreme design,
okay,
something that was just out there, and you're just what? Why? Okay.
Yeah. There's a couple of those. There was one of them. The whole thing was crazy. The subject matter was just a wasp, an insect.
The insect, not the '80s band.
Yes, the insect. She wanted the wasp pretty much as far as you could go below the belt, like its stinger just hanging out, And she called ahead of time, called the shop and just said, "Hey, this is what I want." And one of the people at the shop was like, "I'm not doing that." I was like, "I don't care. It doesn't bother me. So to me, I just look at those as just new learning experiences, no matter what it is. I have also had a guy named Brian Steck. He's a cool guy, really cool guy. He's a friend of the shop. He was up there in the shop one day as I was going through tattoos, and there was just randomly this vector of a woman giving birth to a child, and I was like, "Here you go, Brian. Here's what you get tattooed next," just jokingly. And so he one-ups my joke and says, "Well, if I did that, I would get it to a bucket of chicken." So Brian came in one day on his birthday and received a tattoo on his ribs of a woman kind of squatting down on top of a bucket of KFC chicken, birthing a baby.
Not just a bucket of chicken, but a bucket of KFC chicken.
KFC chicken.
Uh-huh.
Well, I thought...
Not Jay's chicken.
No. I just thought, it gave it a little more. He said, I think he may have even said KFC is why we did that.
Mm-hmm.
But, whatever.
Did he submit that to the KFC marketing team to see if he can get some free chicken out of it?
He may have. He should have.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
I mean, I don't think they're going to get back to him, but they deserve to see it.
You done any Big Lee's World tattoos?
I've not done a Big Lee's World tattoo, but, I don't think that's a bad idea for somebody to, if you want to see how many people you get together to be the lucky fan, the number one fan.
Right? I know.
Or maybe you could just get your own.
No, I'm good on that.
Get yourself tattooed on you.
I was excited with the Big Lee's World t-shirt, but I still don't know how to feel about wearing my face on myself, so...
Just get the words. Big Lee's World.
No.
Because it is your world.
No, actually, if I could find somebody to sew, so if you're listening to this and you can sew, I know you're a big fan of the, what do you call it, the pins, straight pins, but I have a vest that I bought one, and I'm going to put that on the back patch.
I got you. I've got to connect.
Oh, you got to connect?
Yeah.
Oh, man, look at that.
Well, there's also a place here in town you can go to.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's I have to look at it. It's so it's a play of words, but it's a sewing place here in town.
Okay.
So something like that. I can't remember. But they'll do that. They'll hem your clothes, whatever you need.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I need to check that out because I need to get this battle vest ready.
It's vest season.
It is. It's always vest season. Get it ready so I can wear it out on February 25th for the Big Lee's belated birthday bash at the Anna Fight Underground. You can get those tickets at Linktree /Fight Underground Anna. Come out and wish me a happy belated birthday and come out and meet the Necro Butcher. See some barbed wire board matches, exposed turnbuckle Texas bull rope match.
Exposed turnbuckle.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Just a bunch of cable connected with some bolts.
Well, what it is because like the turnbuckle, where it connects, like turnbuckles where the two ropes connect, and then it has like a pad over it.
Right.
So when they hit, it kind of eases the bump.
Yeah.
No, it still hurts. Trust me.
Well,
the padding's like not that thick, but it still kind of eases it. So with this, you're gonna take all 12 of those paddings off, and you're gonna have this giant it's like a screw in, so it's got like one of them like circle hooks on it. So you're gonna have those exposed, and then on top of it, they're gonna be tied together with a bull rope, a Texas bull rope, because it's thicker, so it doesn't break as easy. And if they hit one another with it, it's gonna make it sting even more. Because we like violence at the Anna Fight Underground.
Like that. They should wrap it barbed wire.
Oh, we're doing a barbed wire board match.
Even better.
Yeah. My good friend Bull Bronson is taking on Juggalo Championship Wrestling Deathmatch legend Madman Pondo and the barbed wire boards. That's right. And then,
that's awesome.
Maybe me and Thurman will get in there and throw down in the barbed wire boards.
Ooh, wee. Get some barbed wire board across my back.
Right? It'll make you feel like you're in one of the massage chairs. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But no, man, like I said, I'm glad you finally got to come on here and do this with me. I appreciate you. Like I said, I know you're a busy man. We've been trying to do this for a hot minute now.
That's true.
We both have busy schedules. Or as you say, I am the person that the most that takes naps.
You get in more naps than anyone I know. Yes.
I should say they're attempts. Because it's usually once I lay down and try to go to sleep, the phone goes off. or some issue comes up that I need to take a look at, and next thing I know, it's like, well, nap time's over.
You taught me before this episode that this Apple phone had a switch on it that silences everything on it.
Yes, when you try to take my Snapchat picture while I was on the phone call.
Yes.
Yes.
If you use that attribute, I think you could find that you won't be awakened by messages unless it's just buzzing in your ear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, also, like 95% of Apple problems is because of sound, and it's because people have turned that silent switch on and forgot about it.
Makes sense.
So just make sure whenever you need sound that you turn it back on.
No, my sound works. Too many sounds. I had to learn to figure out how to turn off a lot of these sounds. Especially like while I'm listening to music and it wants to just alert me.
Like Tara said, these are the sounds of the underworld.
Yep.
There's like, okay, whatever.
My phone is in the underworld.
All right, man. Like I said, I'm glad you got to do this. I definitely, a little bit later, want to do a round 2 with you.
That'd be awesome.
But once again, where can everybody find you at?
You can find me.
No, we mean your physical house address.
Oh, yeah. Cape Jordan. You can find me tattooing at True Hand Tattoo in Sikeston, Missouri at 112 North Kings Highway. You can find me on social media at JohnnyT573. That's JohnnYT573. And you can also find me here at Big Lee's Boom Boom Room every other weekend because I have to pay my bills and
Right.
I'm just kidding. No, I love Lee and thank you for having me on here, and I hope we can have a more sit down and have a real good secondary session because this was fun and it's my first podcast actually, Lee. So thank you for allowing me.
Thank you for popping your cherry.
Yes, I think that's the second. You popped a few in my chair. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you could have so many cards locked up in. You got me, Lee.
An integral part of the Johnny Thurman life.
It's twisted.
When you write that book,
man,
I expect the whole chapter.
Oh, it's gonna have to be a chapter just on Lee.
Be like The Adventures with Big Lee.
But I won't write that book until I'm able to try this pizza that you keep getting from Malden or wherever else it is.
Well, you got kinfolk down that way. Why don't you need to stop down there and get it? They expanded their hours like Pizza Express Pizza in Malden, Missouri.
Will they be open on Christmas Eve?
Probably.
Because I'm usually down that way on holidays or Sundays. Are they open on Sundays?
No.
See, that's the problem.
That's the day of the week that close.
Dang,
they're open like 4 to 9, I think, Monday through Saturday. So, make sure when you go there, tell them that Big Lee's World sent you. Because I'm trying to get them to rename a special. Actually, I'm trying to get them to rename the pizza after me.
Dang.
But
you have to go more than once a month or whatever, though.
Yeah, that's true. I tried to talk to the guy deliver up here. Because he says he goes to Sam's Club here.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, just bring me a pizza up here.
A lot of restaurants buy things at Sam's Club.
I don't. Why? Because I don't feel like it's cheaper.
It's bulk.
I still don't feel like it's cheaper, though. Like, I look at some of the pricing. Like, coming from working all those years in the grocery store and looking at what they are now and looking at, bulk prices, it's not cheaper.
Might be right.
I think it's just a convenience thing, and people feel like elite that I buy my stuff at Sam's Club. It doesn't matter if it's cheaper or not, but they buy their stuff at Sam's Club. Unlike you and I, who keep the Dollar General in business.
But if you're buying it for business, you're using Sam's Club for your business, then it can work out. What's the matter if it's deductible?
That's true.
I'm just, who knows, if you're buying, I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs of that. I need to talk to my CPA, but I think you could. You can claim some shit from Sam's Club stuff.
Look at that business advice here at the Big Lee's Boom Boom Room.
How to evade tax. I'll get a red flag on your LLC.
Exactly, most definitely. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you joining me here on this. I appreciate every one of you out there for listening to the Big Leagues World podcast. I know it's been a crazy 2020, and I thank you all for your support. Make sure that if you have any questions, comments, concerns, shoot me an email at bigleaguesworld@gmail.com. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this issue of the podcast. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platforms or check us out at bigleaguesworld.com. Go to bigleaguesworld.com and pick up that Big Leagues World t-shirt. It looks great. I've got the first shipments of them in, and they look really cool, so definitely make sure to go check that out. Once again, Thurman, I appreciate you joining us. I appreciate every one of y'all listening. I hope y'all have a happy holidays, and once again, we're just about finished with 2020. I appreciate all the love and support, and as always, 2 scoops of whoop, whoop, whoop.